Welcome back to another episode of the Unkage podcast. This is episode like 17 or something. Today, we have a very, very special guest, JP Lifts Coaches.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, JP, I mean, like, it's been a while since you've been in Illinois. I think the last time you were here.
I was.
How did you, like, okay, well, like, let's go back. So,
all right, rewind.
When did you first initially come here to the Kage Gym?
Yeah, dude, I came here like, when I was 16. I think it might have been my 16th birthday.
Yeah.
And one of my boys, Aiden, we used to go to high school together. He was like, yo, JP, like, you got to check out this Kage Gym. And I was like, all right, whatever. So previously it was like a commercial gym that I was at.
Sure.
And then the Kage Gym, it was just totally different vibe. Yeah, totally different vibe. And I was like, I loved it. It was like love at first sight. It's like, you go from a commercial gym, and I'm sure the audience has felt this too. You get burnt out going to the same gym. You get burnt out. You get tired of the gym, whatever. And when I came here, I was like, oh my God, I love the gym now.
Yeah.
Like you feel refreshed. Yeah. And so at that moment, I still went to like back to that commercial gym for a little bit. But then like within a month, I found myself just consistently coming back here, and I just canceled my other membership.
Yeah. You don't have to glaze. It's okay.
No, I'm glazing. Like it's actually peak.
It's like all right. But so you were here when you're like 16, and then like let's talk about sort of like the timeline of how you ended up from this 16-year-old kid sort of just going to the gym to now you're 20 years old and you are one of the leading people in the coaching coaches sort of business.
Indeed, I am.
So like let's talk about let's timeline that. So you're 16, you come to the Kage Gym. At this time, you're still working at Jimmy John's.
Indeed, I was making Sammy's.
Okay, so you're working at Jimmy John's, and then you ended up doing your first show. When was that? When was your first bodybuilding show?
I think I was 17 or 18. Yeah. I might have been 17. Yeah.
How was that experience?
It was great. It taught me a lot. I still remember because I was in my first year of like college at the time during this show. Holy smokes, man. Like prep just put me on my ass. And I was on like enhancements at the time, but still like the fatigue. I remember like walking to class and I'd be like, oh my God, I have to take the stairs.
Yeah.
And it just felt, I was so tired all the time. And another thing too, it was like my butt. When I was sitting down in bio on that hard-ass stool, I know they know what I'm talking about. When you're in class, you get like that hard-ass stool. Oh my God, like my cheeks were sore from sitting on that.
You need a pillow under there.
Dude, I know. I need a little bit of cush. Need a little bit of cushion.
Yeah.
But no, it was fun, man. It was very challenging. It's something that I think everybody who lifts should do at one point in their lives, just to challenge themselves and see what they're really capable of, because you're challenging yourself across like, your physiology, going to the gym, like you just feel so fatigued, and it's kind of exciting to see what you're really capable of. But it's something that I probably would not do again.
Okay. Well, why not? Why wouldn't you do it again?
Because especially right now in my period of my life, like I feel like I did it back then, not out of a love for bodybuilding or the sport, but out of a desire to prove something to myself. Because I wanted to, part of it like was an unhealthy relationship with my mind, body, etc. Like maybe an overemphasization on that, on like my physical. And now that I'm more confident and now that I'm more certain of like who I am and who I want to be, it's just, I don't really see the need for myself to bodybuild, but I see why others do it. I just don't think I was doing it for the right reasons.
Sure.
And I think it was more so like just insecurity and cope.
Okay. And how did that transition you then from like doing your first bodybuilding show and I guess taking all that into realization into then becoming a coach?
Yeah. Because I coached before bodybuilding that show. I just did it for like free or like maybe $20-$30 a month.
Yeah.
And it was all friends and family. So I was coaching aunts, uncles, like everyone in my family. I was the fitness guy. Like everyone went to me for advice, and I would just like design programs and stuff on Google Sheets. And I still remember during prep, I actually had like 5 clients or so at the time paying me like $20 or $30 a month.
Nice.
So for me, that was big, bro. I was like, yeah, we're making some big bucks. I remember, Jimmy John's. I was looking at my Google form check-ins. Making sandwiches, but like, yeah, it was after that bodybuilding show that I really determined that like a show was something that I really wanted to kind of or coaching was something that I really wanted to do from like a lifestyle perspective. I knew I didn't really want to coach bodybuilders, but I wanted to help people with their like emotional eating habits, etc. Because it was the same stuff that I kind of worked through.
Yeah.
And it was then when I was like really passionate about it. And since I did the show, it kind of gave me the confidence of like, you know what, I did that. Like I can do anything.
Yeah.
It's not that like I could fucking work hard.
Yeah. Because you are that anecdote at that point, right? Like you lived it. You went through the experience of whatever your particular struggle was. So you look to help the people that were dealing with the same problem.
Exactly. Right. And part of it too, I think when you're in bodybuilding prep, it's like a very emotional time, and everything, like all your emotions are heightened. You're maybe a little bit more sensitive. And like, I just remember feeling out of control with like food and my body and stuff. And I was able to work through that. And so it was like a motivation for me to like do that for other people. Was what I really wanted to do. And that's kind of what really motivated me to take the coaching seriously.
Yeah. No, I definitely think that bodybuilding and in particular, like your very first bodybuilding prep, is very insightful. I think a lot of first-time competitors sort of hit the stage with the desire to like be competitive and win. And honestly, I think that for most people, that's the wrong approach. I think that like, especially at an amateur level, like, dude, you don't know who's going to show up.
Yeah.
You have no idea who's going to show up to that stage. And so setting an expectation of winning in a sport that you've never competed in is, you're sort of shooting yourself in the foot to it, in a sense. Mm-hmm. And so I think rather than having that approach, rather than sort of having that mental line of thinking going into a show, it's like, dude, going through a bodybuilding prep teaches you so much more. It teaches you like how to be a productive individual. It teaches you how to navigate your own psychology.
Yeah.
You know, when you're in such a,
I would just call it a vulnerable place.
Yeah, in a very vulnerable place. Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it. And yeah, I just think that like that's something that is like often very overlooked with like people that are bodybuilding, particularly like people that are within their very first prep. Is like, dude, that is so invaluable.
Yeah, your first show will really. It's not about winning or losing. Yeah. It's about just like, oftentimes it'll show you if you really want to do this or not.
Yeah,
that's it.
100%.
And for me, it was like, okay, I did it. Not again.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'm a one and done kind of guy.
Yeah,
you know. But like all the respect to people who do, and I see why people can. It's very rewarding, very fulfilling experience for sure.
Yeah, and especially if you want, I mean, of course, compete at it at a very high level and go pro. Like that's a whole different sort of trajectory when it comes to bodybuilding. But nonetheless, yeah, I mean, if you have the thought to compete, you should compete. Like, do it. Just do it. Don't think about it too hard. Just go through it. It'll teach you a greater lesson that you probably weren't anticipating. Okay. But so that being said, you went through your first bodybuilding prep. You did it. You were coaching people sort of through that time. You were coaching people after. When did LA Fitness happen? So when was that?
Yeah, LA Fitness was late 2024, September, October. And that was when I really, really decided to like pull the trigger on everything and just say, fuck it. Yeah. So it was around that time when I was getting my PT certification, which was like a little bit after my show, and I was studying for it, and I was like pushing it off because I fucking hated it. But it was like, I kind of realized that just working in different jobs, warehouse, Jimmy John's, whatever, that I didn't want to do anything else but coach. And it was like, it was either coaching for me or nothing. And that's kind of what my mindset was. And so I realized like, you know what, fuck it. I'm just going to take the risk and bite the bullet. I don't care. I'm just going to go to LA Fitness and I'm going to bust my ass and get these clients. And that's kind of what I decided to do, because for me, it was like, I can't see myself doing anything else but coaching, whether it's what I'm doing now, which is like coaching other fucking fitness coaches, or I'm doing it with fitness clients. Like I was just so passionate about helping people, coach them. I just couldn't see myself doing anything else. So I think that's kind of what happened.
Super interesting that you say that. Do you think that's like an attribute of people that are like wildly successful, like not giving themselves another option? Like for you was like, well, fuck everything else. I'm going to coach. And I'm like, this is my path. This is what I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it is, man. And to be like honest, not to steer it in like a dark fucking place or anything, but to me it was like I either do coaching or I just like,
Sure.
kill it. And that was my mindset at the time because I was in a dark headspace, if you will, and I just didn't really see a point, if you will, and the coaching was the only thing that did that for me because I was like lonely, whatever, and so it was for me. It was my one last hurrah. It was like, I'm gonna give this my all. I'm gonna really bust my ass for as long as it takes, and like if it fails, it fails, whatever. But I'm just gonna dive in and give it all I got because this is like my one shot, and that was like my mindset with it.
That's crazy, dude. I know that you're somebody that, like you are heavy with like client psychology and helping people with their own psychology.
Yeah.
So how has it been like navigating your own psychology when you have such a strong like psychology, right? When like that was your mindset. It's like you're either gonna fucking make it work or it's done. You're done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think really it's like success is always 80% psychology, 20% mechanics. Someone said that a while ago and it really stuck out to me because you think of it like, yes, there's mechanics to it all, right? There's, especially with bodybuilding, there's like certain lifting techniques you can use, dieting techniques, yes, but like mentally, if you're not there, you're not going to win. You have to have that competitive mindset. Same thing in business. It's like the identity that we have. A lot of people have the identity of like an employee mindset versus the business owner mindset. The business owner mindset's like, I got to take risks. I got to take action. I got to speed. They're stuck in that employee mindset and that keeps them stuck. And so a lot of times, especially when we're talking about building a personal brand and like taking risks and taking action, it is all boils down to psychology at the end of the day. It all boils down to how you view yourself, how you view the world, etc. And for me, I would say the one viewpoint that I think if anybody could adopt, they'd be successful was I kind of asked myself, what is the identity of the person that makes the 10K, the 20K, whatever per month? What is the identity of this person? Like, how do they show up every single day? And I just try to create alignment between myself and that person in my head. Number two, I told myself like, hey, I may have to do this for 10 hours a day, 6 days, 7 days a week for 3 to 5 years, but that doesn't mean I need to do this forever. I don't need to go knock on doors forever. I don't need to go do floor pulls forever, no matter how embarrassing I feel it is to go on the floor and like do a fucking session. I don't have to do it forever. But right now, I got to do it. And it was the same thing in prep, right? It's like, okay, I only got to do this for 4 months. It's fine. 4 months, and then I could do whatever. It's not that deep.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that got me through it was like a lot of people had this discomfort around working hard, maybe because they don't see the payoff or they're too focused on the work itself. But for me, I was always like, okay, I can do this, but no one can do it forever. And like if anyone tells you they can, they're lying. And it was just like the one thing that helped me sustain that level of work was I could do this for like 3 to 5 years and I'm willing to do it, but I can't do it forever. And I know I don't have to because I'll do this for 3 to 5 years and I'll get to a point where I can outsource these things. I'll have the leads, whatever. So that was really the big mindset shift that helped me.
Okay. So you're at LA Fitness, you're working the sales floor, you're doing the floor pulls, you're working with the clients, you're taking them through their workouts. Yep. You're doing the whole thing, right? You were also here for a little bit of time.
I was.
Yes, you were like at both gyms. You were hustling.
I was.
Really, that's what it was. You were hustling. You were trying to make ends meet and trying to make it as a coach. And so, where was that shift? Like, when did that shift happen, and what was it when it sort of clicked? Like, it clicked, and you were just doing well. I mean, at the end of it, your complete business model, the way that you were doing things went from. I mean, you were no longer an in-person trainer. You're not just strictly doing online coaching.
Yeah. I think that a lot of the big reason why people don't take action is because they don't necessarily believe they can achieve it, right? When we think of like childhood, everyone has these big goals. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a doctor. I want to be whatever. But then somewhere along the way, you get told one too many times that you can't do this because you're a bad student. You're a bad this. You're a bad that. So you kind of like indoctrinate this belief of yourself of like, oh, I can't do this. I'm not good enough. And what changed the game for me was realizing that, hold on, wait a second, I can do this. And I think that the pivotal shift was, I think, like my first client, which I met him in Target. We were just talking, and I made a goal to like challenge myself to talk to one new person every single day and have like a fitness conversation. Didn't care, I just needed to talk to one person. So this was someone I talked to in Target, and he had a fucking protein bar. And I asked him, I was like, oh, is that like Quest? And then we were talking, and I was like, oh, I really like the Bear Bells ones. And we just started talking about protein bars. Then all of a sudden he like points out my physique. And then, we start talking about that. And I mentioned I'm a coach. And he's like, oh, really? I'm actually like looking to get in shape. So I booked in a fucking call on my calendar the very next day, and I ended up working with him, and I closed him. And like, that was a thing that was like, hold on, wait, it's not that hard. I just have to have confidence. And I have to fucking do it. And it was dropping the ego. I mean, like, hold on, I don't care what people think. Like, it's fine. They can judge me. Who the fuck cares? I mean, just full do it. And that really gave me the confidence and momentum to continue to do it going forward, because I realized then that it was within reach, right? I realized, like, hold on, I'm not that far. Like, if I can just do that 20 more times and I'm there, I could fucking do that. I'm not fucking atypical, right? So I'm not like, it's not impossible for me to achieve this goal.
Yeah, just 20 more conversations at the target.
Exactly, right? And that's really what did it for me, man. It's like, I saw that little bit of fucking progress and I got hope.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, I can do this. And that really moved the needle for me, and that just activated a fucking switch.
Okay, so then what was the transition from like your training in person at LA Fitness and at the Cage, and then now you're just strictly online? How did that happen? How was that transition?
Yeah. I mean, I was busting my ass to get clients in the gym. Like, I remember being at the college. I was giving out business cards and shit to like get people in the gym. So I was always hustling, trying to get clients in the gym or trying to do whatever. And I think the big thing was like January of like 2025, I dedicated myself to posting at least once every single day. And I did that for like 30, 60 days without seeing anything. And I just kind of like kept self-reflecting on it, because it's like you have to reflect and then adapt and then like act, right? So a lot of people just post. They throw volume at the wall, then they wonder why they don't get a result, but it's because they don't critically think and reflect. The thing is, it's like do more and then reflect on it, and then you can like analyze and double down on the outliers. And that's kind of what I did. And I started doubling down on those outliers, those like 1.5xers. And then I got a lot of traction on social media. From there, I had people reach out about coaching just as a proxy of posting my client results online, showing my sessions, documenting what I was doing in the gym. I had people reaching out to me, and I was like, hold on, wait a second. This is profitable, because at LA Fitness, within my first 4 months, I got like top trainer there, and I did 10 or 12K in sales in a month, which was just me doing like some floor pulls and selling some sessions and whatnot. I had a full roster. And I was just looking at my pay, and I was like, bro, these fucking guys, still remember the conversation. Every time the corporate guys would come in, they'd gas you up. They'd try to like hype you up and shit. And they'd be like, oh, I see a future where personal trainers are making 100K a year. And I did the math, and I'm over here, I'm going, okay, so they're charging $100 a session. I'm getting paid 30. So if I want to make 100K a year, I got to work 80 sessions a fucking week. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
That's 80 hours. How the hell am I supposed to make 100K a year? And when I did the math, I was like, okay, this is ridiculous. There's no way I can do this. And so that's when I kind of decided to explore alternative methods, and how like the corporate route wouldn't be the thing that would get me to my goal. And then from there, it was like doing the outreach online, etc. And then once I hit that 10K per month for a few months straight, I just kind of decided to drop the in-person altogether, because it was just more valuable for me to do it online.
Yeah. How important would you say it is then for a newbie entering the game, right? A new coach, somebody that wants to do this, they want to be a trainer, they want to be a coach. How important is it for them to do social media? Like on a scale of importance of like 1 to 10, like how important is that social media?
I would give it an 8. I would say there's plenty of methods of acquiring clients, right? You have word of mouth. You can do door to door. You can train your fucking friends. They can refer other friends, etc. You can you can network and get good connections, etc. But like, there is nothing that's going to give you more reach quicker than social media and building a strong personal brand. And it's such a good marketing tool and engine that if you're an online coach and you're not utilizing it, or you're not trying to adapt to this new world that we live in, you're doing something wrong. Because like social media, it's free. Posting content, think about it, it costs nothing. Maybe you pay like a fucking Indian overseas, like $1 per reel, right? But it costs nothing to post.
Yeah.
And so when we really think about it that way, it's like, hold on, wait, so this costs nothing to make, and I can make an infinite amount of it. It's like, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
It doesn't cost anything to make. You can make an infinite amount of it. So fucking make a lot of it, double down on what works, and then you can get eyeballs for free. It's a no-brainer to me.
All right. And so what's the content strategy for that newbie? Like how do they get themselves out there? Maybe it's somebody that isn't used to being in front of a camera, or maybe has a fear of of doing it, right? Of doing the social media thing. What does that person do?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I always say content is a game of like do more than reflect, right? Everyone always asks about like, oh, what's the best content strategy? What's the posting routine? There's no fucking magic pill routine, whatever. And the fact of the matter is, it's like the equivalent of a really morbidly obese person asking you what's the best form of cardio and they haven't walked. It's like, dude, we got to walk. Because I can't tell you what good content is going to be, nor can you. I'm not a wizard. You have to let your audience determine what that good content is and then double down on what works. And that just means trying a bunch of different formats and leaning into what already makes you you. And so if I was a beginner again trying to make content, I would kind of go back to the framework of like, okay, what are some core convictions that I believe in my industry that maybe people disagree with me on? For me, for example, when I started out, it was like the calories. I thought you didn't need to track calories to lose weight. Yes, it helps, but there's alternative methods, etc. That was a core conviction of mine that I really believed in. And that's what I talked about online. It's like the emotional eating piece, etc. And I was like advocating for, hey, you don't have to overcomplicate it. It's not that hard. The myth busting stuff. And so I kind of like identified and bucketed myself within this topic of fitness. And I bucketed myself with my like core beliefs and convictions. And then I just started mapping it back to content. And so what I would ask this beginner is just like, you got to be self-aware. Start reflecting of like, okay, what behaviors do I do on a day-to-day basis that maybe other people do not do that I do? Why do I do these behaviors? What motivates it? What actions have I done in the past that's led me to where I am today? Start reflecting on like why you believe things. And in that way, you can just articulate yourself so much better online. You have a much clearer idea of like your mission. And that's what I think the beginner should do. And then just like fucking post.
Yeah.
It's all about dropping the ego. It really is, man. And ego, not in a way of cocky, like, oh, I'm better than everyone else, but not posting is still ego because you're afraid of what other people are going to think of you. And so if you don't post because you're afraid of what someone else thinks of you, you have an ego because you're like viewing yourself as like, oh, I'm this important because they really care about me. And like this person obviously gives a shit about whatever. And then you don't post. And it's like, you just got to drop the fucking ego and realize nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah.
It's not that deep. Right?
Yeah.
And if you want to be great, you got to do shit that's uncomfortable.
Yeah, I love that. I guess here's a good one. So like, what is the hardest lesson that you've learned through running a coaching business?
Yeah. I think the hardest lesson that I learned through running a coaching business is that a lot of coaches talk about scaling. They want to grow, they want to develop, they want to whatever, and that's fine and dandy. But sometimes the business isn't scaling because you don't have the identity of the person that's capable of scaling the business, or you are not the person you need to be to make a business that's doing 100K, 50K a month. And part of that you have to realize is like, there's a lot of truth to that statement. We're talking about building a coaching business. This isn't Nike, this isn't whatever. We're talking about building a personal brand. Building a personal brand, people buy you, okay? And if your content isn't performing, if you're overthinking content, if you're not doing stuff, there is something wrong in your process, and it's most likely about you as a person. And so understanding that and understanding the importance of like self-development and also taking care of your mental is absolutely crucial as an online fitness coach, because everyone always talks about the business strategy, the this, the that, but yes, 110%. But I've had clients in the past, for example, that have overthought every aspect of content and have like literally wanted me to ideate with them, and I have, but then they still don't film it because they're like, oh my God, this, that, and the other. And it's like there's a switch in their mind that doesn't allow them to post content because they're so terrified of what people are going to think. And it's like, dude, I can give you the best fucking strategy on paper, but if you're so fearful and terrified of what people think of you, you're never going to be able to articulate yourself online in a way where you're confident and convicted to where people are going to be attracted to your message and buy from you. And so it's about becoming the person who really can operate a business. Like when I did 1 month, I did like 130 in rev, and I was like, holy shit. I was not the person I needed to be to run a business that did that consistently. And I'll admit that, right? I'll admit that. I was not the person I needed to be. I did not handle stress well. I did not handle these things well. And the part of the thing about business is it'll grow so quick, it'll force you to step into a role that you might not have been prepared to take on. But that's when you adapt. And that's when you figure out like, okay, what is the person the business needs me to be? Not what I need to be, what the business needs me to be. And I just have to step into those shoes and be that role.
So to stay ahead of that, like what you're saying is essentially you have to have that identity shift prior to essentially getting there. So you have to become the person that can manage $150,000, $140,000 a month in revenue, like for the business. Like you need to become that person before you even get there. So like, and you need to hold that identity, hold the values of whatever that person, that version of JP, that version of Jack is.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And like, there's people who don't, right?
Yeah.
But that's when you fail. That's when you
Yeah.
get stressed out. That's when you get tweakers. I get clients all the time that they always tweak. They're like, oh shit, like revenue's down. And I'm like, bro, just fucking chill out. You're like 15, 20K this month. Like you're calm. Revenue isn't always going to go up, 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 up. Like sometimes it's got to go down before it can go up. And it's like viewing it in long-term patterns and viewing every little thing as data and not like a factor of my self-worth of like, oh, sales are down because of this. No, it's fine. It's obvious. Like I didn't do this month. Obviously sales are down.
Yeah.
Instead of letting myself get all freaked out and like worried about it. Oh, am I going to fail? Is it all? It's just not productive thinking at all. You know, and if you have that thinking, you're not going to be as successful as you could be because you're going to constantly doubt yourself. You'll get in your head and it's just like, it's not a way to live.
Yeah.
And so the business will force you to evolve. And that's the biggest thing that I learned is like the business has definitely forced me to evolve into roles and learn how to be like better with money, more business sense, etc.
I think that's one of the really beautiful things about coaching and being a coach and like the business within itself is like how what we do for clients translates into almost everything else, including business. I mean, the same way that a client, like that we tell our clients, right, how they're going to progress.
Oh, yeah.
Like, hey, your progress isn't always going to be linear. Sometimes there needs to be periods where, we're dipping down and you're going through a life event or there's another variable that's affecting our progress. And so it can't always be up, 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 up. There's going to be dips and valleys and hills and valleys. And that's the nature of being human. That's the nature of business. That's the nature of it all. And it's I think it's really cool, like how if you can just be a really good coach and you can understand that principle, you can apply it to everything else.
100%. Yeah, and you can coach yourself through those things, and like that's why even I have a fucking coach, right, to keep me in check. Like
who's your coach? I actually don't know who your coach is.
My coach, he's a mentor of mine. His
Okay.
actually name is Yash. You probably don't know him, but like he was a guy that I met when I started, like when the business really started uprising, and he's kind of been with me through it since. Now someone I consider a brother. He's actually a person I was visiting in Puerto Rico. But yeah, he's like taught me a lot, and it's nice to have a person in your corner, like making sure that you're doing the right things and like giving you that direction. Because yeah, dude, like coaches need coaches, and I see a lot of value in coaching. It's why I have one. Right? I see a lot of value in coaching. So yeah, it's why I have a coach. It's why I'm constantly investing in my skill sets so I can become a better person, better coach, better business owner.
I mean, that's something we preach. It's something that we talk about on the podcast all the time is like, I mean, shit, there's a reason why like these top level athletes, these top Olympians, that they have coaches. Of course they have the knowledge, they have the mindset of champions of the people that can do this, but there's a really big value in having a second pair of eyes, a second set of hands that is going to be critical and honest with you when sometimes it's hard for you to step into that role for yourself.
100%. The fact of the matter is, if you're not progressing, you're regressing.
Yeah.
Right? People do not. If people just tracked every single day and they analyze like what did I actually do that I did well. What did I not do so well? Why did I do these things? And also analyze the state that they were in. So when you're in a state of like flow and you're getting shit done, if people just paid attention to that and were like, okay, why was this moment productive for me? Why was today good?
Yeah.
And then they focused on replicating those moments more, they would probably be successful because they'd constantly be improving. The thing is though, as people, it's hard to do that, and it's hard to have that level of self-awareness and self-analysis. And so that's when it helps to have somebody else on the outlines, because they can see shit that you would not otherwise see. And that's the value in coaching, really. It's having somebody on the sidelines to call out shit that you would not see and that maybe you're blind to because you have an emotional blind spot or whatever. That has been the most valuable part of having like a mentor coach for me, is I'm able to call out these patterns to other people, but sometimes you turn a blind eye when it comes to yourself, and that's just human nature. And so having somebody else to kind of like call you out on the bullshit, be like, oh, wait, hold on, there's a pattern here. That is the most beneficial piece, 110%.
So, all right, let's backtrack a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So we were at LA Fitness. Then you were doing coaching online full time.
Yep.
Right. So you were doing HQ, hypertrophy headquarters.
Hell yeah, dude. That's the fucking
So
move.
you're doing HQ, and HQ. What'd you end up growing at the top of your like coaching business?
The fitness coach?
Yeah, like what
Yeah.
were you doing? What was like monthly revenue like?
It was 80.
80K a month. So you're
Yeah.
doing 80K a month. How many clients did you have?
80.
80.
Yep.
Okay, so it's basically a grand per client per month.
Yeah,
okay.
I had 80 fitness clients, yeah.
So that's how you essentially, so you scaled it up to $80,000 a month. And then when was the pivot to start from focusing on fitness clients to focusing on coaches?
Yeah, it was like a month after I hit 80. I just saw so many people getting burned by other mentors and like people in the space. And I was like, dude, what the fuck, man? Like, this isn't what coaching's about.
Can I ask real quick, were these people that were coming to you for coaching or what?
They were friends and peers of mine in the space.
Okay.
And there were people that I gave feedback to and I saw them implement it and they saw like an instantaneous result. And I was like, hold on, wait, I can do this. I can truly have an impact in like this business coaching space and like be a big piece of the pie here. I can take over this. And that's kind of what motivated me. It was like, I saw all these people in shitty business coaching programs and containers. I was like, okay, I can do this 10 times better than these people. I can run this so much better. And then that's kind of what motivated me to just fucking do it. Because if I could do something better than a person, I'm going to do it. And especially when I'm passionate about it. And that was the motivator for me to kind of make that transition was I gave advice to people. I saw them implement it. I saw them have success with it. I was like, all right, why am I not doing this? And so I started doing it and like, it crushed and clients got good results. And yeah, that was the piece of the pie. And then I kind of realized that I just found it more fulfilling for me. Like, and after that first year, I just noticed like where my heart was and where I was most aligned. And I was like, I really am more aligned towards the business coaching side of things. So I'm going to go that route. Right. And that's kind of what I did. Because like the business marketing stuff, I just find it more enjoyable, more challenging.
Yeah. Do you find that you had to develop a new skill set for coaching coaches versus coaching fitness clients?
Yeah, I absolutely think there's plenty of like, it's easy to take a person that's jacked in shape and get them to fucking a lot of clients, right? Because it's like if a person, it's easy to take exceptional people and deliver exceptional results. It's difficult to take an average person and deliver great results. And that's what I kind of learned is, okay, how do I take a person that's not necessarily the brightest in the world, that's not necessarily the smartest of the bunch, that isn't necessarily the most confident, how do I make them exceptional? How do I make them great? And that was a massive hurdle that I had to learn in how I navigated coaching different people and overall the complexities of business and how like business is so much more complicated than fitness. Because with fitness, it's like, okay, you can eat less, move more, like, yeah, you'll get the result, have someone motivate you, hold you accountable, whatever, they'll get the outcome. With business, it's just such a rare thing to see somebody doing like 10K a month as like an independent contractor or whatever. So it's automatically a little bit more difficult. And that was what I realized is like, number one, not everyone has what it takes. And then number two, how do I take somebody that's not necessarily amazing and make them great as a business owner? And it requires different coaching methods or philosophies or realizations that I had to come to that I had to learn through the business coaching.
Yeah. I'm the coach, right? I am starting to do the content, and I'm bumping it out, but I'm not really seeing. I'm not necessarily closing any clients from the content that I'm making.
Mm-hmm.
How does that coach go from just posting content to converting?
Yeah. I mean, how long has that coach been posting?
Let's say, 30 days.
30 days, right? So that's when I tell that coach, hey man, you've been doing this for 30 days, right? Business is a 5-year game. It's all about perspective,
yeah.
Right? Someone could go like, oh my God, I'm posting, I'm not getting clients. Hold on, I'm posting, I'm getting views. I'm getting at least 200 people. 200 people are watching my video. 200 people are laying eyes on my video that previously didn't have awareness about me. It's all about perspective. And if you can change your perspective, you'll probably get a better outcome.
Yeah.
And so the number one thing I'd tell that guy is like, bro, you've only been doing this 30 days. It's guys have been posting a year and haven't gotten the result.
Yeah.
You got to detach from the outcome. Realistically, I cannot control whether or not a video blows up or not. Can I influence it? Yes. I can influence a post and manipulate certain factors, hook, retain, payoff, etc., to get it to go viral, sure, and like pay attention to market trends. But I can't control it because it's not me. It's other people. So you can't control other people, you can influence them. Same thing with closing clients. You can't control a person on a call and like fucking make them buy, but you can influence them and try to point them in the right decision-making process to like make the best decision for them, but you can't force anyone to buy. So you got to detach from the outcome, number one, and realize that like, hey, you can only control your inputs. And if I can only control the inputs, then like, how do I make sure that I'm putting out the right inputs and the right amount of volume to get my outcome? And from there, it's like, okay, I've only been posting 30 days. Let me just fucking double down. Let me do this for like twice the amount of time at twice the volume, ramp up content volume. And then from there, just talk about shit that I'm truly convicted and passionate about and detach those expectations of like having that fucking high ticket, that banger month, dropping that ego a little bit and realizing, hold on, wait a second. Because here's the thing, dude. If a person really wanted fucking clients, they can go outside with a poster and get them. Like they can get fucking clients. It's ego is what it is.
Yeah.
It's I shouldn't have to do that to be successful. And that's what hurts people. It's like, I shouldn't have to do this. No, it shouldn't. Eliminate that word from your vocabulary. You want to be successful. You want to make X amount of money per month. Most personal trainers make around 50K a year. You want to make 10K in a month. You want to basically make double what they make in a year. And you're telling me you don't want to knock on doors, you don't want to hold out a fucking poster, you don't want to do anything? Yeah. No, like it's ego. You got to drop that. That coach is to drop the ego. It's got to realize, okay, well, how much am I willing to really do? How much am I really willing to fucking put in? And then just put it in. And if you're not willing to put it in, that's totally fine. Yeah. But the thing is, you got to be honest with yourself, because if you're not willing to put in the effort to get to your goal, you're going to live in a chronic state of disappointment, because then you're misaligned. You have this goal of yours that you're never able to fucking hit. Yeah. So every night you go to bed disappointed in yourself. And it's like, bro, you either got to lower your goal or increase the amount you're willing to work. And it's like, that coach can get clients, bro. There's probably people in his circle that he knows. And you may be like, oh, my leads are broke. Okay, maybe they don't have money right now. Dude, if a coaching program is $3K for 6 months, whatever, there are ways to get money. We live in the United States. The average college tuition is around $140,000 a year. People are in student loan debt. They take out these student loans from fucking SoFi and they go and purchase college. They can figure out how to get the money. Realistic. You can go mow some lawns and make $3K in a summer, even if you don't have money. Yeah. You can go work hard, hustle, and get money. There's an abundance of it out there in the economy. You just have to find it and monetize it. And so, like, as a fitness coach, there's leads everywhere. You go to fucking McDonald's, bro. There's like a bunch of overweight people. Those are people that need help. Yeah. But you just have to drop the ego and be like, hold on, no. Who am I to say I should or should not do these things? Yeah. Who the fuck am I? I'm just going to do it.
Yeah, I think for a lot of coaches, like the first client is the hardest because I mean, there's that aspect of it where it's like, yeah, I shouldn't have to do all these things in order to land this first client. I think a big portion of it is also like imposter syndrome, like a lot of these, which I think ties in as well. I think like a lot of coaches when they're trying to land their first client, they think that they don't know enough or they're not good enough but I think it ties back into what you're saying about ego, how you have to drop that shit.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, at the end of the day, like, you can always know more. You can always be more educated. You can always be a better coach, but that doesn't mean that you don't have the capacity to help who you're trying to help now, because that person knows less, more than likely, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the only way to get through imposter syndrome is through the mud.
Yeah.
Right? You can tell yourself you're not good enough, whatever, but if you keep living in that state, you're never going to get the outcomes that you want. And so, like, okay, fuck it. You don't feel like you're good enough. Go take on free clients.
Yeah.
Train them up, get them amazing fucking results. Then you believe in yourself a little bit. Yeah. And so it's like, you just have to figure out what you have to do to get rid of that and get out of that fucking state, whether it's going and training some free clients, whatever you need to fucking do. But like, keeping this victim mindset of like, oh, I'm not good enough as a coach, there's better coaches out there. Okay, there's always going to be better out there. You're never going to, there's always going to be the next best fucking person.
There's a bigger fish.
Exactly. You just have to be you. Yeah. And then if you have that imposter syndrome, go out and fucking help people for free. Get confidence in your skill set. Yeah. Prove to yourself you can do it. Gather evidence. And then once you have that evidence, you're like, okay, I have proof that I can do this for others. I can replicate this result because I've done it. Then it becomes that much easier.
Okay.
Right.
So from 0 to 1, I think is very hard for a lot of trainers. But once you're there, you're there. You start to build that confidence. You start to gain momentum. From 1 to 10, I think is also a pretty big gap for a lot of coaches, because scaling your business to, you're like, how do I manage 10 people?
Yeah.
How do I do that? How do I even build the funnel to bring 10 people into my system? And so, what would you say are like the most important systems that a new coach can build to like go from that 1 to 10 clients and be able to not only manage them effectively, but like even just build the funnel to get those people in?
Yeah, I would say from 1 to 10, it's really about like volume and work. Like you can get 10 clients somehow. Like if you asked 1,000 people, you could probably get 10 clients.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so like that's the analogy I use. Like it's like a lot of volume, and then it's not like the higher skill, the systems and stuff, they come in place when you're like past 10, you get 20, 30, 40. But really, it's just like an average fitness coaching routine. It's like if you know how to coach people and you set standards up with clients, you have them schedule their check-ins on certain days so they submit their forms. That way you can you can give them video feedback on a proper time cadence. You establish boundaries with communication. Hey, I'm going to text you at these time windows. Outside of these time windows, I'm not going to communicate. So that way you can focus on other activities. You establish boundaries. You set the expectations with clients. And then you just make sure they're doing and getting results. What I like to do is like a red, yellow, and green system. Red is like, oh, fuck. This person's like going to churn, meaning like, either quit, whatever, get a refund, whatever. So
they're
like,
not doing what they need to do.
They're not doing what they need to do. Yeah. So call them up. Yellow, meaning like, okay, this person is like they're kind of like on thin waters here. I might have to like save that client. Maybe it's like, their check-in's coming due soon. Maybe it's like they're going to get an invoice in a day or two. Because an invoice, that's another step that a person has to do. They're going to pay you. That is another risk for churn. And so like yellow would tell me like, okay, maybe just text this person or give them a call. Green, they're good. They're in the green. They're getting great results. They're on track, whatever. And then red might be like, okay, maybe they submit a check-in in like 2 days. And I have a system in Google Sheets that would help me categorize it so I can keep track on people. And then from there, in terms of like building out that funnel, a funnel we just narrow in. What is a funnel? At the most basic level, everyone always talks about it. No one knows what it means.
It's like fucking cone.
Yeah, it means cone, like narrowing in of attention. Yeah. And it's everything is a funnel. We always narrow in attention. So with our social media page, think about it. We want to get a lot of eyeballs at first that are somewhat within the fitness space. You nurture and educate some of those people, and you trickle them down, and you get like a loyal audience of people that really want to work with you by making specific content about their problems and illustrating how you can solve them, and then also showing how like you yourself are a person with good values that they want to align with, and they want to work with you because like, oh, I like this person, I like his values. They like who you are as a person. And so that's kind of how that social media funnel works. And then from there, it's like, okay, we can apply that same concept to the individual micro actions in a coaching business. Videos themselves. It's a funneling in of attention, if you really think about it. At the start, think about it. We want to get a lot of eyeballs with the hook. We got to hook people in. How do we do that? We got to have like a broad topic that relates to a lot of people. Cool. So we start wide, and then we funnel in the attention to our offer. And so every video then ties back to exactly what we're selling. So I start with like, okay, let's say I'm doing bodybuilders. What's going to get all the attention? Me talking about a fucking bodybuilder or C-bum, whatever. Cool. So I talk about like C-bum and some drama at the start, and then I use that to like Trojan horse my way into value, which is like that middle piece.
Yeah.
So I start giving value, start nurturing, start whatever, giving actionable advice to fitness coach. And then I have like my call to action. It always maps back to what my offer is, whether it's values, whatever, it always maps back to it. And the same thing in sales. So everything's a fucking funnel. Okay, cool. What's a sales conversation? Sales is a constricting conversation, right? If I'm talking to a person and they go, yeah, man, like I really just need like the training, like what, yada, yada, yada. It's not my job to then talk to them about like the nutrition and how they're doing X, Y, and Z. Because if I do that, then I'm creating more problems for myself when I could just narrow in on that nutrition. So we start broad at a sales call, right? Hey man, what's going on? Like, how's your day going? Broad. Then we narrow in. What's it in specific that you feel like you might need help with in order to achieve X, Y, and Z result? Okay, the nutrition. All right, now we're in.
Yeah.
And then you just fucking stay on there and you don't go, oh, the training, because like now what the fuck are we doing?
They don't care about the training.
We're going like here when we're supposed to be here.
Yeah.
Everything is a funnel. And once you understand that and the idea of like specificity, and the longer you go, the more specific you should get, you'll absolutely crush it. And I think that was a game-changing piece, a realization that I made is like, you're just narrowing people's attention is all. How do you make people care about something? That's it. Videos, think about it, very simple. Yeah. How do we make people give a fuck? I need to make somebody give a shit about my coaching. How do I make them care? Well, number one, I got to like make it as for them and not about me. I got to make it for them. So let me start referencing it by like you, let me give value, etc. Let me make them care. And then from there, it's like, okay, in a video, how do I actually hold this person's attention? Because it's got to like, okay, we got to get them. We got to hold their fucking attention, because if we give a good hook and then they scroll, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So we got to hold their attention. How do we do that? Maybe some captions, maybe some pictures, maybe different angles. Maybe you crack some jokes. Maybe you're a funny guy. Maybe you're humorous. Whatever. How do you hold their attention? Then from there, you got to have a payoff, right? You got to have that like, oh, okay, yeah, this was a good video. Because if we don't have that, guess what? Okay, hook, retain, we don't give a payoff. Then a person watches the video, they don't get the payoff, and then they associate us with not giving them that outcome that they wanted. Yeah. And so the next reel that they see, they scroll. So you got to have all three. And it's that simple. Everyone likes to overcomplicate it and talk about these fucking crazy things. It's just like, keep it simple. Understand the basic elements of like, okay, get attention, keep it, reward it. That's it. And then if you can do that, and then there's different strategies you can use to incentivize it, you'll crush on social media, man. Absolutely.
Yeah. What is the, I mean, people talk about the algorithm always changing with social media.
Yeah. And
how, you know, things are different this year than it was last year, because it's constantly changing, right? So how does the fitness coach beat the algorithm? Or how does the fitness coach, you know, make it out that whatever, 1,000 view jail, 100%. 200 view jail, whatever it is, right?
Yeah. You start by asking the right questions. I think like the quality of life that you live is determined by the quality of questions that you ask. And so if you always ask like, how do I beat the algorithm? You're trying to focus so much on algorithms that you're losing the human piece. And we fail to realize that the algorithm is determined by behavior in humans.
Yeah.
If I watch something, and the longer I watch it, Meta, whatever platform I'm watching, TikTok, YouTube, they're going to tell me, okay, this person stayed alert, they interacted, they commented, they liked, whatever. Let's show them more of these videos. Let's create like a lookalike audience, and they'll show more fucking content that's similar to that on my page. Very simple. And so when we realize that, we understand how an algorithm actually works, then we can kind of like treat social media like that. And it's people's attention.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And we start trying to think of algorithms and certain ways to hack it. Yeah. And we make a video and we're like, okay, how do I say this in the best way possible? How do I make a good hook? You focus so much on the fucking hook in the algorithm that you fail to realize that you're talking to a human being. No one's playing your fucking reel on a projector for their whole family to see in a movie theater, right? They're watching on their phone on the toilet in between work shifts. They're probably fucking shitting.
Yeah.
And they're opening reels and they're just scrolling.
Yeah.
And so once you realize that, you can kind of be like, hold on, it's not that fucking deep, first of all. And second of all, I can't necessarily predict humans' interests. So in order to do that, I just got to look at what's currently working in the industry. What are people currently posting about? How can I adapt it or model it, like make it my own, do enough repetitions of it so that I get feedback and data. Using that data then, I can then double down using the outlier score. So let's say I posted something that got like a 2x outlier, and it actually attracted the audience of people that I wanted to fucking talk about. So let's say my audience was like postmenopausal woman. I post a video. I see that the video get a lot of views from postmenopausal woman. Cool, that's it. I'm literally watching that video 8 times over, and I'm fucking doubling the fuck down on it.
What metrics do I see on Instagram analytics to know that these are postmenopausal women?
Yeah. So with ads, it's like you can easily tell with an ad because you can like it's so specific with Metapixel.
Sure.
Like you can see the exact fucking audience, the exact person, the exact phone they're holding.
Yeah.
But with like Instagram, you can just check the analytics overall, like the age range and the gender.
Yeah.
But the most important thing too is just like look at the fucking comments and look at the people liking and following. And if they're people that would benefit from fitness coaching, then you're probably on the right path.
Yeah.
If they're people that do not, then you're probably on the wrong path.
Yeah.
And that's how you understand, like, okay, wait, it's not all about views then.
Yeah.
Because if I could, here's the thing, man. Everyone says that, like, I can't get views. You can get fucking views, dude. You can get views. It's just that you're too scared to, like, say some shit that's evil enough to get views.
Yeah.
You can say some fucked up shit and get views, man.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I could say, like, fucking, I could say faggot. Right?
Yeah.
And I can get views.
Yeah.
But like people are so afraid of that because they're afraid to be judged online. You can get views, but it's not about views. That's not what it is.
Yeah.
It's about connecting with your audience and building a relationship with people. And then through that relationship, because content's not supposed to convert. It's not. Like, let's think about it here. Like content, the goal with content is not conversion. The goal with content is let's get someone's attention.
Yeah.
Let's build trust and build a relationship.
Sure.
Yeah, and let's convert them in the fucking DMs to have a conversation. And so we got to stop looking at content as a conversion tool and more as a connection tool. How do I build a relationship with somebody? The sooner we do that, the more successful we'll be. And then understand that it's not all about views. It's about getting the right views. I can say some fucked up shit and get views. Hell yeah, I can. But if I go viral for the wrong reasons, like let's say people are laughing at my physique, that literally does nothing for me as a fitness coach.
Yeah.
Right?
You're backtracking.
Exactly. I'm like moving myself backward because now I'm the fucking butt into the joke.
Yeah.
People aren't laughing with me, they're laughing at me. And so that's not helpful for me as a fitness coach because now my credibility's down here and nobody wants to work with me. So it's about like what specifically you're known for. If you can go viral for being the fitness coach that busts myths online and gives evidence-based information and gives a ton of value, that's great. If you can go viral for being a dumbass, well, it's not really serving you, is it? Right?
Yeah. Fuck, dude. And so, like, I think just understanding that IG then, I mean, like, behind that screen is just another person.
100%. It's literally a person that's probably sitting on the toilet after work.
Taking a shit.
And also realizing, too, people don't buy tips and tricks anymore. They don't.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you can make tips and tricks content. You can yap. People don't fucking buy that shit. It's like, everyone always asks, yo, why is my video not going well? Bro, it's because we're posting the same fucking shit and you're expecting it to, like, convert. Thing is, man, I can give a fucking fat dude a meal recipe, but that meal recipe video is going to end up in his save folder with 100 other meal recipes. So it's not about making shit that, like, gets a ton of views or optimizing for that. Because if I want to get views, like, yeah, I could just, like, copy what everyone else is doing to make shit content. But, like, it's about giving people reasons to act. Think about it. If my audience, and I have, like, a binge eater in the audience, and let's say the binge eater has an urge to binge that day. Something that I said earlier in the day, maybe a reframe that I gave him in my content, maybe some kind of like perspective shift, maybe a piece of value that I give him, a unique insight. Maybe he applies that same day, then he doesn't binge, sees an instant result from it. Now I wake up the next morning, that lead is now warmer in my pipeline. He was cold, he tried a piece of advice from me, he got a result, now he trusts me more. So now he's more likely to buy when I reach out to him. And he's more likely to interact and respond and entertain a conversation with me. And so it's like content is not about getting views or whatever. It's about getting people to act. Think about it. If we can get a person to act, then they'll see a benefit. They'll more likely trust us because they applied our information and it fucking worked. And then from there, it's easy to coach them. If I'm the reason why a coach posts on social media, let's say they watch this video and I'm the reason they post, because I've given them enough evidence to act. What is evidence? Stories, right? So the stories that I've fucking talked about, the dream outcome. I've like painted the picture, oh, you see this guy online, whatever. Oh, I want to be like this guy, so let me post too. It's communicating that it's not that deep. How do we do that? We talked about ego, dropping the ego, so I'm giving them reasons to act. And then once I give them reasons to act and they post, they see a fucking result from that. Oh, fuck, I posted, it worked. And I didn't expect that. Who do they attribute that success to? Me. Because they posted, I was kind of the catalyst for that in a way. I played a role. And now they're going to go to me and like fucking eventually buy from me. And that's my viewpoint on things. It's like your goal as a coach is not give a person a bunch of things, give them one thing to do, build enough reasons for that, give them reasons to act so that they fucking take action. And then that's how you can be a good fitness coach online and stand apart, for sure.
I think it's time for me to ask a question everybody's been wondering. JP.
Shoot it.
Like, does JP still lift weights?
I do lift weights. I actually lifted yesterday with a client. With my client Joey. Yeah, him and I went to Lifetime. So I do still lift 3 times a week, full body.
3 times a week, full body. So that's the meta right now. That's what you're running?
It's the meta.
Okay.
It's frequency. You know, it's like the stimulus fatigue ratio, bro. I'm optimizing it. Right? It's like I got work to do, I got shit to do, I got fires to be put out, boom, bam, bop. Going to the gym for like, 45 an hour, 3 times a week, getting your all those muscle groups hit 3 times a week. That's fucking peak.
What are your movements? Like, are you basically just train compounds right now?
Yeah, mostly compounds. I don't like compound leg movements because like my fucking back is shot.
Sure, yeah.
So I do like more isolation with the legs, like leg extension, hammy curl, like try to do some back work just to like keep my lower spine good. And then from there, like all the upper stuff is mostly compounds. Maybe I'll do like a couple arm isolations like once or twice a week. But
sure.
Yeah, it's mainly what I do. It's just like get the most bang for the buck right out of those compounds. Realistically, it's like it's not good training on paper is really boring.
Sure.
It's like do the same fucking shit over a long enough time period to get a result, aka the same thing with business and content.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But like there's
Like it's
no,
all applicable.
yeah, there's no fucking magic pill. And so yeah, I still train like that 3 times a week. It's good for the mental. You got to take care of yourself as a business owner. It's why I said earlier about identity.
Yeah. What about cardio? Do you do any cardio right now?
I just fucking hate it.
Really?
I mean, I get my steps in. I pace.
Okay.
I pace a lot. So I just walk, I pace, I go for walks, etc. But I'm just not a huge cardio guy. Never been.
Oh man. I think you could benefit greatly from it, bro. I think I have a really some of my best ideas come to me when I'm doing cardio, and I think I don't know, and this can be sort of bro sciencey. I think a big part of it is like the cognitive benefit that I get from it of just like literally getting more, in a sense, right, getting more oxygen to my brain.
No, and it's true. It's true, and that's why I pace.
And so, like, dude, yeah, I mean, even in the off season, you'll catch me on the elliptical or on the stairs or on the treadmill, like doing my cardio. So, but like right now, it's just steps.
Exactly.
That's surprising to me, actually.
Yeah, I just do my steps, and like maybe I'll go for
also,
like
given that you're like you've maintained a good physique, like you have a good level of leanness right now.
caffeine max, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know, it's like maybe I'll speed walk here and there, right? I'll increase the speed of the steps, but I agree with that 100%. It's like Tony Robbins talks about it all the time. The easiest way to change your state is to change your physical state.
Yeah.
Get yourself in a better state so that you can operate. And so like if you're having trouble thinking, maybe you're overthinking, maybe you're stressed, worried, concerned, change the environment. Switch the room you're in. Remove the associations with your mind. Put yourself in a new environment so that you can break free from all those negative associations.
Yeah, go for a fucking walk.
Go for a cardio. And I think it's absolutely crucial to get exercise. And yeah, some of my best ideas too come to me while I'm walking and ideating. And I'm thinking about it, I'm like, oh, that's a great idea. Let me jot that down.
Yeah.
And yeah, so no, walking is crucial, man. Like getting your exercise in is crucial. And that's what I talked about earlier about like taking care of yourself. The people that say, oh, I work 100 hours a week, yada, yada, yada. Bro, number one, okay, if you could just be honest with yourself, you'll be more successful than like 80% of entrepreneurs. Everyone bullshits themselves out of taking action. If I say that I'm going to fucking read 30 minutes a day and I read 20, I'm going to bullshit myself and try to like tell myself that it was close enough to 30 and so I'm good.
Yeah.
We bullshit. We're bullshitters by nature.
Yeah.
And people are bullshitters, man. And it's like, if you can be honest with yourself, be like, hold on. Okay. Maybe I feel like I'm working 100 hours a week, but maybe like I'm working 6 hours productively during the day.
Yeah.
And then the other 6 hours, I'm like fucking off. I'm overthinking.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
scrolling
on TikTok.
Exactly.
Doing bullshit.
Imagine if you just spent 1 hour focused on one outcome of, hey, I'm going to do DMs. I have this amount of DMs I'm going to send for this hour. This is the outcome I'm going to get. And you just fucking locked in and did it. You would probably book more appointments. The problem is people don't do that. They say they're going to do DMs. They make content. They have a good content idea, so they break free from it. Got to be disciplined with your time. Such a massive fucking thing where in a quality of successful people is like, got to be disciplined with your time. And you got to make time for the shit you don't want to fucking do. Because sometimes the shit you like to do is not going to be the productive shit. Right?
Yeah.
So.
I guess somebody that has had like a past with like I'll call like troubled eating or just ED, right? Eating disorders. Like what's your diet like now? How do you eat?
Yeah, dude, I just fucking eat.
You just fucking eat?
I just fucking eat, man. I'm like a dog. I eat like fucking chicken, rice, typical stuff, some beef here and there. But yeah, bro, like I just fucking eat. Like I don't stress that much about it. I used to always be like so fucking hyper fixated. Like, oh my God, I gotta get to my micronutrient. Oh my God, my zinc. I take a multivitamin, I take some magnesium, good to go. I make sure I'm getting my protein in, and I don't really track calories. I'm good. I don't think people need to track calories. It's like, yeah, you can if you want. Bro, like, you think our ancestors were walking around with a fucking food scale weighing everything out? No. They just ate healthy food, and they didn't, like, surround themselves with a bunch of bullshit. And so if you could just be disciplined and be like, hold on, maybe it's not the brightest idea for me to have, like, that fourth cookie right now.
Our ancestors didn't have Oreos.
Yeah, exactly. And so you got to have that discipline. And discipline isn't, oh, let me make sure I never have it. Because if you, hold on, that's not discipline at all. You're just telling yourself you can never have something. It's like you're not giving yourself an option. If you remove the option, you're not being disciplined. If I say I'm not going to go on my phone in the morning, and so I put my phone across the fucking room so I can't access it, that's not discipline. That's just me removing the fucking option of using my phone. Discipline is allowing myself the option to use my phone, but then choosing not to do it. It's allowing yourself that choice. It's having the Oreos within reach, but then choosing not to eat them. And that's when you can really reach a state of harmony with your eating, where like you'll have the shit, and you'll have plenty of access to it. But you're like, hold on, wait, It's good.
Yeah.
A lot of this ED shit comes from a mindset of scarcity and not abundance. You got to realize that there's an abundance of food. You can have fucking Oreos anytime. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Even if someone fucking eats them in your house, you can go get new ones. They're not going anywhere. And so the sooner we realize that, and a lot of times it's like the shit that we deal with in childhood, the fucking competitiveness around food. Maybe you had siblings that like, you were always in a competition to see who got the fucking leftovers, right? Whatever. The sooner you can get over that shit and realize, hold on, there's plenty of food, bro. So much. It's fine. It's not going anywhere. And it's always going to be there. The sooner you'll be able to like have true freedom when it comes to food in terms of it won't govern your mind anymore. And for me, that's where I'm at. I'm in a state of just like, oh, I don't care.
Yeah.
Food's food.
Yeah. Just eat when you're hungry.
Yeah, exactly. And then two, knowing like just a general, knowing the fundamentals of nutrition. Get your fucking veg.
Yeah.
Have your fruit. Eat your protein. Don't overdo it on the fucking processed shit because it's going to not fill you up. Just understanding that stuff and knowing the caloric value of certain foods, I don't even need to track to stay in shape anymore because I literally know.
Yeah.
You have IQ.
Yeah. With my lifestyle clients, that's actually the exact same approach that I take. Like I'll have them maybe track for a couple of weeks so they just have a better understanding. I think because most lifestyle clients that come to you, they just have no idea about food. They don't know about food, right? They don't know what a fat is, what a carb is.
Yeah, I think peanut butter is a fucking protein source.
Yeah,
Tell me
exactly.
about it.
You know, it's fucking 7 grams per 190 calories.
I'm like, what the fuck? Come on.
Yeah, exactly. And so, sort of setting that up so that they can just have a better understanding of like, what calories are, how many they need, how different foods affect their body. I think there's definitely a value to that, but in terms of tracking for long term, I mean, unless you're a fucking contest prep athlete, right? Like you don't need to be doing that.
You don't need to be doing that. And I actually see Mundy do that shit all the time. He always makes videos about it. And everyone gets fucking pissed.
Yeah.
He's like, guys, it's not that deep, bro.
Yeah.
Like, he has his meals. He goes out. He has fun. But like, dude, it's what you do most of the time.
Exactly.
It's what you do most of the time. And a lot of people will be like, oh, no, I can't have fun. And, dude, we went out to dinner. We had a great time. I had some alcohol, whatever. Yeah, I'm an entrepreneur. But you got to fucking chill. You got to realize it's not that deep. You only live a certain amount of years. And like, why the fuck am I going to spend my life tweaking? I got to have a day where I just chill. You know, I work hard. I do a lot of shit with clients. But bro, like, you got to have a day where you just chill. You go out, you see your boys, you crack jokes over dinner, you tip the fucking waitress $1,000. Like, you know, you just fuck around a little bit. And that's what it's all about, man.
Yeah.
You got to enjoy these moments because you don't get them all. You don't have motherfucking time. As long as you just keep it, like we say, right, in moderation, which is hard for most people. They have to exercise that discipline. But once you're able to do that, like you're Gucci, man. Like, I don't have to track a fucking calorie ever. Yeah. I know exactly. If I want to lose 10 pounds right now, I can lose fucking 10 pounds.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like it's not that hard. It's such a big piece of the puzzle, man. I'm telling you. Just don't be a chud.
Don't be a fucking chud, bro.
Don't be a fucking fat chud.
Don't have chud habits.
And if you have exactly, man.
If you have chud habits, you're gonna be a fucking chud.
Bro, exactly. And it's the same thing, man. Like eating a fucking salad once doesn't make you healthy.
Yeah.
Posting one story about your coaching doesn't mean that your audience knows that you're coaching.
Yeah.
It's what you do most of the time that determines your result. Yeah. What I always tell folks is like, okay, you think you work hard? If I grabbed a camera and I filmed you for a whole day and I just picked a random day, would you want me to see the footage or no? And I ask people that, like clients, and they're like, I'm like, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like, you're not doing what I said you should be doing. Yeah. It's a problem. Let's fix it.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with dieting, man. It's like, okay, what you track is what you're going to care about. Track calories at the start, get awareness around food, understand how it works. Understand that, okay, there's this amount of protein in chicken breasts, so you can like make better decisions. And after that, like once you understand it, you're good. You don't got to fucking worry about it so much. It's like you already know. You already fucking know. Like, yeah, I could see a chicken breast. It's like 40 grams of protein. Boom. Muck that shit down.
And I think most people is also just the consuming like overly processed foods. Like it's such a big part of American culture and the American diet. Like just having so much bullshit inside of your fridge, inside of your pantry, and sort of like this is like it's just so normalized.
It is.
It's crazy. It's kind of crazy to me.
It's extremely normalized.
Where it's like, fuck, dude. I mean, if most people just stuck to a diet where they were eating, fruit, veg, fucking just base protein sources and some relatively simple carbs, like.
Tell me there's a world where you get fat.
I know, right?
Right?
Exactly, yeah.
Like, I don't think everyone's ever getting fat from eating too many vegetables.
No.
Or fruits.
No.
Veggie meats and fruits?
Veggie meats and fruits.
That's simple.
Yeah.
post more fucking content. Eat some vegetables and eat some fruits.
There you go.
Right? Keep it. When in doubt, man, reduce it to the basics.
Yeah.
It's all like all the fucking confusing shit. It's all marketing, bro.
Yeah.
Like, oh, there's the new funnel, the new algorithm, the new this. It's all marketing. Everyone's got an angle.
Yeah. And it's funny because like that's what clients will come to you and like they're so confused. Like, oh, I can't eat fucking bread. I can't eat this. I can't eat that. And it's like, hold on, slow down, slow down. You are so convoluted with all this information that you've been hearing, like from fucking your doctor, which Western medicine. I mean, I have my own opinion on doctors, but I love doctors. I have a doctor. You have a doctor?
I have not gone to the doctor in a little bit, but yeah, I do like doctors. They're good.
I do like doctors. Doctors are good.
Doctors
They're
are
smart. They're smart.
They're-
We go to school for a long time.
They're smart cookies.
Yeah, they're smart cookies. But they hear all this like conflicting information, and then they come to you and they basically tell you all these myths or all these things that they've heard, and you're like, hold on, slow the fuck down. Like slow down.
Yeah, you're like you're on page 42. I'm on chapter 4 here.
Exactly.
Like, relax, pal.
It's like
You know?
let's boil this shit down.
Yeah, like let's go back to fucking page 4. Like let me just flip back some pages here.
Yeah.
Like what are we doing? We're getting too convoluted.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's I think that's really what it's about. When it comes to lifestyle clients, is like just bringing it back down, teaching them the basics, and I think with that, like most people will succeed. I think that's where also a lot of coaches, and myself included, when you first start your coaching business, is like you get that imposter syndrome, and it's like, I mean, dude, you know the basics.
Exactly.
You know that shit. You know that if most people weren't eating fucking bullshit and most people were doing exercise, like they would be better.
Exactly.
and that's all fitness coaching is.
Yeah. And that's what a good offer is.
Yeah.
Right? A good offer isn't the best in the world. It just gets a person an outcome with the least amount of barriers to getting the outcome.
Exactly.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
The best offers, the best businesses, they don't focus on making it the fucking best. They just focus on making it the least shit. How do I make the outcome as easy as possible to get? And how do I reduce all objective barriers to getting said outcome?
Yeah.
Maybe it's, I put together a grocery list for this person. Boom. That decreases a barrier, decreases resistance.
Yeah.
Maybe it's, I order an Instacart to their fucking doorstep.
Yeah.
Boom. That are decreasing resistance. Best coaching plans, the best offers, how people find value is if you can save them a lot of fucking time. And if you could just make it easier to get the outcome. That's all fucking coaching is. An example is I was so focused sometimes, like, you know, I actually, with the modules that I have now for my partnership guys, there's like literally half as much information because I realized that people don't fucking implement it and they get overwhelmed. And so I realized that, like, hold on, it's not about giving people more deliverables or more fucking guides or more PDFs. It's about clarity over complexity. When delivery, when you're focusing on delivering, getting a person result. How do I make it clear? How do I prioritize clarity over complexity? Even if you could do that, you get the outcome. The example I'll give is this. I tracked the data. I realized that people who made a fucking friend, people who made a friend in my coaching container within the first month got double the result. Double. Like 45 something %. People who just made a friend in their first month.
Wow.
And I was
That's
like,
crazy.
hold on a second. I'm so focused on the information, this and this. Let me just force motherfuckers to talk to each other.
Yeah.
So when they're onboarded now, I go, hey, you, you're going to message each other. You're now holding each other accountable. I want you to do this. I want you to do this. Here. That's what being a good leader is.
Yeah.
Is you match people together and you tell them specifically what they fucking do and they follow it. Because if you tell people like, hey guys, go get somebody, people are going to like wait. They're going to, oh, is someone going to reach out to me? Do they have a partner yet?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I'll reduce resistance.
Yeah.
Here's your partner. Here's your partner. Here you go.
Yeah.
Talk to each other about X, Y, and Z.
You're the fucking teacher in the classroom, bro. You're like, you, together.
There's a reason why they do that, right?
Yeah.
There's a reason why they do all those fucking icebreakers in co-working spaces. And yeah, they're corny, but people bond over the fact that they're fucking corny.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, this shit's fucking stupid.
It
Oh,
works.
yeah, this shit's fucking stupid. They bond. And so it still accomplishes the mission. Biggest thing is if you can just get people to talk to one another and like, if they can have a brother that's also going through the mud, boom. The offers that have the highest retain, like the highest fucking MRR, like retainer, and in lowest churn, they're not the fucking best. They just like have community, man. And they have basically a family where there's like group calls, there's lectures, there's people talking to each other. And so people pay for that. They pay to be a part of something. And that's what coaching is, man. And everyone always focuses on the new AI software. Bro, you're not a software as a service company. You're not fucking big tech.
Yeah.
Like you're a fitness coach, bro.
Yeah.
Focus on what you do best, which is like coaching and people. And later down the line, if you want to go into a different business venture and you're like doing 100K or something a month, fuck it. Experiment with AI. Most people got no business touching that shit because it's always simple. It's like just human behavior, right?
Fuck, dude. No, that was great. Thank you, JP.
Cooking.
Thank you for for all the insight, man.
Absolutely, dude.
I think this is great value for a lot of like brand new coaches, people that are coming up in the space. If there was like one thing that you could leave people with, like, what would that be?
Ooh, that's a good one. I'm thinking.
Could be a quote, could be something that's actionable. What would you say is like, what is a message that you would like to leave like the brand new coach with?
I'm thinking.
Bro's cooking. He's cooking.
Cooking.
He's coming. He's coming. He's almost there.
I'm almost there. I'm close. Yeah.
He's close.
I would say like, you can do it. I would say you can do it.
Nike type shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah.
I'm no different. I mean, I just fucking took action. And the sooner you realize that you're no different and you can take action, the sooner you're going to fucking outcome. When you were little, you had a fucking goal. You said you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, you said you want to be Batman for all I care. Somewhere along the way, someone told you one too many times that you couldn't get an outcome, that you weren't good enough, that you weren't special, that you weren't smart enough. And then you settled for less and you learned that and you've accepted that as your state. That's not who you are. You've just been programmed. And when you realize that, hey, like this is what I've been programmed to think and it makes sense. I'm not blaming myself. It's not my fault, right? I've gone through things. I have like certain maybe traumas, if you want to call them that, but it's my responsibility to do something about it. And the sooner you can get out of that fucking victim mindset and stop like operating from a state of ego of like, oh no, people are going to think of me because way back when somebody told me that I wasn't good enough. And so if I post now and people give me that information, that triggers that fucking response. Fucking clean slate. Start new, start fresh, build, overcome that bullshit, and accept that today you're going to tell yourself a new story. And that new story is, what is the standard of the person that makes 10, 20-ish K a month? Because the outcome you get is a story that you operate from. You have a story as to why you're not where you're at right now, as to why you're sad, as to why you're depressed, as to why you're not successful, whatever. Create a new story for yourself, a new origin story about the person you're going to be and the standard that person holds themselves to, and set that standard for a minimum of 90 days. And by standard, I don't mean fucking goals. I don't mean to make a certain amount of money. By standard, I mean persistence, consistency. I mean posting X amount. I mean inputs, shit you can control. I promise you, if you could focus on that, you will get a positive outcome.
Yeah. You're the author of your own book. I love that shit. Thank you, JP.
Exactly.
Appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you. Kage out.
Thank you guys for watching this episode of the Unkage podcast. Shit, bro. We will see you next week.
Peace.
Peace.